What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. So let's get straight to the news, man. So according to ESPN, primetime Deion Sanders, head football coach at Jackson State University, is now preparing to take the head coaching job at Colorado. It said that he spent the last week recruiting players and also staff to the school. And this is, sources have told Mr. Pete Thamel, however you pronounce it. Pete Thamel is the college football senior writer for ESPN. So they're saying that Deion Sanders is preparing. He's prepping to take that job at Colorado, and he is expected to leave Jackson State University following the Swac title game. Right? Is this a shocker? Yes and no. Honestly, I didn't think that he would take the Colorado job. I thought he would wait for a while to get a better head coaching opportunity at a bigger, big time school that has a bigger recruiting base, that has, I guess, maybe a richer tradition in football. But according to CBSNews.com, Colorado offered Deion $5 million per year with incentives that can make it about $7 million per year. Listen, y'all. You know Deion Sanders made that song, Must Be the Money, Must Be the Money. Now that is some big time bread. That is big time dollars, man. And even if the job may not seem right for a man, when they're offering that type of money, you know a lot of guys cannot turn that down. Again, at first I was like, man, this is Deion Sanders going to Jackson State. It was personal to me. Let me explain why. I am a graduate. I'm an alum of a Swac school, Mississippi Valley State University, the academic oasis of the Mississippi Delta, and the alma mater to one of the greatest football players to ever walk this earth, Mr. Jerry Rice. Right? We had two Hall of Famers come out of Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice, and also Deacon Jones as well, right? Stumbling over the name and everything like that. So me coming from a Swac school, I recognize how uneven the playing field is for HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. When Deion Sanders came to the Swac, prestige came to the Swac as well. Respect came to the Swac, right? Deion Sanders has the clout and cachet to wherever he goes to make wherever he goes prominent, right? To elevate their platform, to make people talk about where he's at and make them cover it, right? So when Deion Sanders came to the Swac, when he came to Jackson State got awareness, but also the HBCUs within the Swac got awareness as well, and even HBCUs outside of the Swac, because it became a national conversation. Hey, historically black colleges have been around for a very long time, since the beginning, since forever, and at one point, all the top Hall of Famers in college football, in the NFL, came from the Swac schools. They came from not just the Swac, the MEAC, and so on and so forth. They came from the historically black colleges, is what I want to say, right? A lot of the big-time Hall of Famers came from the HBCUs, from Jerry Rice to Walter Payton to Shannon Sharp to Richard Dent. All these other, so many great historic players have come from these HBCU programs. And now you've really, the light was shown, the light was shown on these HBCU schools when Deion Sanders came, and it wasn't HBCU football people started to take it more serious. They started to have conversations that I always wanted them to have when I was a student at Mississippi Valley State University from 2011 to 2015, right? I wanted Swac football to get respect, to be covered. I didn't want us to just be a ticker at the bottom of the screen on ESPN. I wanted us to get covered, to get coverage. I wanted us to not just, when we were on TV, I wanted us to be on ESPN 1 or ESPN 2, not on ESPN 3 where you got to go online to watch us and it really doesn't count because nobody outside of HBCU alums are watching those games, right? Or unless you got a child that plays for the program. So when Deion Sanders came, I was elated. I was proud. I knew how monumental it was. I knew the resources he would be able to get a lot of the Swac schools, helping to get MVSU a new scoreboard, helping them get new turf help them get their practice field improved. And that wasn't even his school. He He helped get my school, my alma mater, a rival within the Swac, Mississippi Valley State University, a Mississippi rival, he helped to get our school resources, right? Helped to get Alcorn State another trainer, or he offered to do that when they were low on trainers, and he used his clout and his cachet and his respect and his name to help all across the board, right? And I'm like, man, I was so excited about it. So to see that he's leaving, yeah, it does hurt. It does sting, because what he was doing at Jackson State was fun. It was refreshing to see. Again, it made me proud as an HBCU alum. Even though he wasn't at my school, I was like, wow, look at what Prime is doing there. It's tremendous. They had College Game Day. College Game Day, I ain't never been in. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember College Game Day ever being at an HBCU, right? To where it was taken serious with this big broadcast, and Kirk Herbstreit and all these individuals, Reese Davis and Desmond Howard touring the campus, and just being so elated to be there. You got what's my boy name, man? What's my man name, man? Pat McAfee, watching the Battle with the Bands, all of that. Like he was getting immersed in HBCU culture, and Deion Sanders was wearing that on his sleeve. And so I'm like, man, it's just so beautiful to have our black colleges be shown in this light, and to get this awareness to get our awareness out. Because a lot of people probably haven't even heard about Jackson State University at all. And Jackson State got more Hall of Famers than the University of Florida does, right? Jackson State got at least 4 Hall of Famers, and Jimmy Smith of the Jacksonville Jaguars should be the next Hall of Famer to come from Jackson State as well. So I was just like so elated. Like, man, Deion is just doing the damn thing. And I made videos. I was getting upset at other analysts on TV trying to rush him out of Jackson State. I said, no, this is great. Let the HBCUs have something. Deion is building something here. He's making an impact. It's looking beautiful. It's looking great. So I did not want him to leave. I did not, because I just saw the good that it did, not just for Jackson State, but for the HBCU community, for black folks and for my black people, for these black kids that never get the opportunity to be shown across the screen on national TV time. I'm like, man, these kids deserve it. They need it, man. HBCU kids don't even have pro days for the NFL scouts to come watch them come and play. We haven't had a player drafted from HBCUs in a while, right? They don't even get, from HBCU kids got to go to the nearest big time D1 school that's around them to even try to get a pro day, if the coach to even try to get a look during pro day. And that's if the coach at the PWI at the big time school is gracious enough to let the HBCU student athletes come to the pro day, right? So I didn't want him to leave, but I also recognize that, outside of just, my personal feelings, outside of me really holding on and cherishing what he's done for these black colleges and these black student athletes and, for the black football programs, I recognize that in all endeavors in life, the goal is to always get more money, to get more lucrative opportunities, to increase the well-being of your family, for, well-being of, yourself, and to maximize on, what you bring to the table. You always want to be paid top dollar for what you're doing if you're doing an exemplary job. So I recognize that outside of my personal feelings, everybody's goal is to keep elevating and rising in the ranks in whatever they're doing, right? And not saying that the HBCUs are at the bottom of the totem pole and they're just the scum at the bottom of your shoe, because I will never say that. I'm proud to be an HBCU alum. But I recognize that Deion, hey man, he trying to go to a certain level, and he's also said that it's more about his staff than him getting the money. He wants to be able to pay the people around him handsomely, because their lives need to change. They didn't make millions and millions of dollars like Deion Sanders did playing football and being a commentator and all this, for CBS and Fox Sports. They didn't get those lucrative deals. They wasn't in the NFL getting millions on top of millions on top of millions like Deion was. So he knows, hey, I got to put my guys that work hard for me in position to get them some big time dollars to get some big money. And I recognize that, man. Some people are like, hold on. Deion said when he came to Jackson State, God called him to the school. So if God called you, why can you be in such a rush to leave? Either one, I'm not trying to say Deion is not a genuine guy, because I never got that from him at all. Seems to be as genuine as they come. Heartfelt guy that really cares about these kids and loves the community, so on and so forth, right? Sometimes people Some people just give, gamesmanship talk and talk to get the school spirited. But I really do think that Deion was called by God to come, like he felt called by God to come to Jackson State. It's just sometimes when you're called by God, sometimes you're called by God to be somewhere for a season or two, for some seasons, and not for an eternity. And so you come, you give your all to a situation. You help to try to flower and develop that situation and nurture it and help it grow exponentially. And then sometimes you're called to go to not greener pastures. No, I don't want to act like my HBCUs are the bottom of the totem pole. Sometimes you're called to go to another opportunity that can also help other people around you in other ways that they may not be just the best thing for just you, but it could be the best thing for other people around you. And so you're called to a place to do a job and do a hell of a job for a while. And for a while, and then you call somewhere else, and that could be the case. He was called to Jackson State by God to help even the playing field amongst HBCU football, to get HBCU football to be respected, and to even get the opportunity to be looked at. These HBCU football players are getting looks, and not while we know it ain't the same as Power 5 schools or even the other PWI institutions. They're at least getting acknowledged, and at least, now that Deion Sanders was there, Deion Sanders was at Jackson State and in the Swac, some scouts will be on the lookout for Swac players and say, you know what? It was some players in the Swac. When we watched Deion Sanders and Jackson State play this school and that school, it was some kids at those schools that could really play some great damn football. And so we want to keep going there and getting good talent from those schools. Some NFL recruiters will look at that and say, you know what? The Swac got some damn good football players. We cannot forget about them. We cannot overlook those players. So yeah, man, Deion Sanders is set to go to Colorado State, allegedly. And I mean, not Colorado State, but Colorado. And best of luck to the brother. They just came off an undefeated season, which is tremendous. It's outstanding. He's done a hell of a job there. He's done the deed well. While it is bittersweet, because again, I am pro HBCUs and I know and recognize all that he's done and all the great things that it's brought, the prominence and the recognition that it brought to the HBCU ranks. A lot of people outside of the black community didn't even know where all these Hall of Famers came from. They wasn't coming from these Power 5 conferences like that back in the day. They was coming from the historically black colleges and universities. And the only reason the PWIs became an advocate for integration was because they wanted that talent that they was getting. They wanted that talent to come to their schools. The PWIs got integrated because they're like, damn, all these black kids going to these HBCU schools, we can pull them over here with us. Hell, we got more money, better resources. We can get those black kids to come there, and that's what happened. And so now people are learning that history. But yeah, Deion Sanders is going to Colorado. And again, at first I wanted him, I'm like, man, wait for a better job opportunity because you can probably get a better look. But when I heard those numbers he was getting, I said, well, damn, Deion, just get you a good coat for that Colorado winner. Just get you a good coat, brother, because $5 million a year, $5 million of them things is $5 million of them things, right? And then up to $7 million with incentives, I said, shit, must be the money. And money ain't everything, but money can help a lot of situations and a lot of people around him. So he had to take that deal and take that offer, if this is to be true, right? His players will go over there. His sons will go over there. Some of the top players will go with him, including Travis Hunter. I expect that to happen, and we'll see how it shakes out and what he can do at those ranks. But yeah, man, he's going to get access to bigger recruiting, bigger money, and to get those top tier recruits at the school with the NIL type deals. And we'll see if his prominence can help to recruit those players. But congrats to Coach Prime. Peace.